Hey guys, welcome back to Top 10 Nerd. I'm Ron McGenzie-LaFurgy. Gwenpool has gained a ton of popularity in the short time since her unveiling in 2016's Howard the Duck #1. After being transported to the Prime Marvel universe, she said, "Screw being an extra, I'm gonna be a hero," and got herself a spandex outfit and hit the streets. She's the funniest hero I've seen since Deadpool, so I think it's time to catch everyone up on her antics thus far. There may be a number of points that her fans will know, but I want to make sure that everyone's on the same page before I go too in-depth in future videos. Now get ready, here are the top 10 facts about Gwenpool. Number 10. Gwenpool was popular before she even had a comic. With the popularity of Spider-Gwen amongst fans, Marvel saw this as a great opportunity to cash in, and began reimagining characters as Gwen Stacy. When fans saw the Deadpool version, they went crazy, and she was an instant hit for cosplayers at Comic-Cons. Seeing her popularity as a character, Marvel then decided to put her in the comics, first in a one-shot holiday special, then throwing her into some Howard the Duck comics, only later giving Gwen her own comic series. So rather than characters bringing about fans, in this case the fans kinda brought about the character. Number 9. Her name wasn't even going to be Gwenpool. She wasn't supposed to be a takeoff on Deadpool or anything, it just so happened that her name is Gwendolyn Poole, so when she fills out the form to get her supersuit made, Ronnie the tailor assumes she's called Gwenpool. And she ends up owning it, and the comics are named Gwenpool, because after all she really is based loosely on Deadpool. But it's interesting to note that it wasn't her intention. Number 8. She showed Doctor Strange his own movie. When Doctor Strange was summoned to help her obtain a new identity, he looked through her universe for information about her origins. One thing he saw was the movie Our World made about Doctor Strange, and he even showed that he approved of the casting of Benedict Cumberbatch. So there, all you Benedict Strange haters out there, even Doctor Strange himself thinks Benny was good. Case closed. Number 7. She was a draft dodger for Civil War II. When Civil War II was gearing up, Gwen came to the conclusion that she needed to get the hell out of Dodge, because according to her, she's a D-lister and would definitely pull a roadie and get killed. This reminded me a lot of Galaxy Quest when Guy Fleetman was terrified of going on an adventure because he was just a red shirt. But rather than succumb to peer pressure like Guy, Gwen moved to Georgia. Fortunately, her time there was not without its own fun adventures, which brings me to my next point. Number 6. She fought with Rocket Raccoon and Groot, and it was a match made in heaven. During the events of Civil War II, she was out on a contract to catch an alien fugitive named Shammy, who was also being pursued by Rocket and Groot. At first they fought over who could have the bounty, where they exposed the hot-button issue of tree-on-woman violence, but they eventually began working together. While she was cynical at first about trying to save Captain Marvel, she came to the conclusion that the comic was being written by Brian Michael Bendis, and suddenly was worried for Captain Marvel's safety. The whole storyline was as ridiculous as you'd expect from a Gwenpool Guardians crossover, and it was awesome to see two relatively new loves of mine in one comic. Number 5. She doesn't give a damn. This might be obvious for fans of Gwenpool, but I think it's good to mention for the people who aren't familiar with her. Similar to Deadpool's lack of concern about consequences due to his insanity, Gwenpool doesn't really care about the consequences of her actions in the Marvel universe, since she just sees it as a comic book world full of fictional characters. While she does make friends, even having a Hamlet-esque relationship with her first sidekick for a time, she's generally out for number 1, since she's the real one. This leads her to killing rather often, or at least being killing adjacent. That said, she later comes to realize that her actions do have consequences and goes out to make amends, kinda. Number 4. She has no superpowers, because as she says, she prefers guns over superpowers. When many people hear the name Gwenpool, they assume she'll have the same regenerative abilities as Deadpool, thinking her to just be an alternate Deadpool. Nope. She's just a random comic book fan who was sent into the comic book world. Now, she's able to perform crazy feats, like jumping out of a helicopter with no parachute, but that's not due to any inherent power, but rather her exploiting the rules of comic books. That superheroes just don't die in ways that dumb. It's possible that we'll learn later that she actually does have powers, but as of now, she seems to just use comic rules to get by. Which brings me to my next point. Number 3. She uses her knowledge of comic books to her advantage. Gwenpool not only takes advantage of the rules of comic books, but also her extensive knowledge of heroes and storylines that she got from reading comics. This gives her a great deal of power, allowing her to disorient her enemies with their secrets, like when she called Thor Jane, or to exploit secret weaknesses. This is her main power when it comes to working with her ragtag team with MODOK, since it's a huge advantage to know the darkest secrets of the other heroes and villains. Number 2. The extras get their time to shine. Despite Gwenpool's insistence that she doesn't want to be an extra, her comics spend more time than most actually delving into the views of non-heroes. This is seen as early as the first comic, where she has a heart-to-heart with a tired, disillusioned police officer. When you look past the ridiculous hijinks, these comics really give you a unique look on the effects of heroics on civilians, which I find incredibly intriguing. The story doesn't end when the villain's defeated, completed, there are a whole whack of people stuck trying to rebuild their lives and move on. Number 1. She didn't read the Deadpool comics. That's right. The character who is by all appearances the female version of Deadpool, who loves senseless violence and joking around, who knows basically every hero and villain due to her extensive knowledge of comics, didn't read the Deadpool comics. She claims that his comics were too LOL memes for her. Plus, she rather hypocritically calls him out for talking so much his word balloons cover up the art. To quote Phoebe from Friends, "Hey Pot, this is Kettle. You're black." That said, these two soon settle their differences and become literally the best team to ever grace the pages of comics. That's it for today. Hope you enjoyed, and if you haven't read the Gwenpool comics, I'd highly suggest them. It's just 17 issues and it's totally worth it. If you enjoyed the video, please smack that thumbs up button and subscribe to Top 10 Nerd for more nerdy vids. Let me know in the comments if you'd like more Gwenpool videos. And hey, if you're looking for gaming videos, check out Top 10 Gaming. It's our new channel where we're doing videos all about video games. Until next time, I'm Ron Mackenzie LaFergie with Top 10 Nerd. In the words of Gwenpool, later nerds.